Hello, this is Mrs. Haugo, and I'm going to be reading The Lorax because it is my favorite book by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, and the wind is slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today the place where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there, and why was it lifted and taken somewhere from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old Onceler still lives there. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler, don't knock on his door. He lurks in his lurkum at the top of the store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffered moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of his shutters, and sometimes he speaks. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. There's his lurkum. The end of a long rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count, to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he puts what you've paid him in his snurve. It's a secret strange hole in his grooveless glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper-mophone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Slump! Down slops the whisper-mophone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, because they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and it sounds as if he has smallish bees in his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the day when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swummy swans rang out in space, one morning I came to this glorious place. And I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. There's all the beautiful truffula trees. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots, frisking about in their barbaloot suits, as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. And from the rippleless pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. And in no time at all, I had built a small shop, and I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop, and with great speedy speed and great skillful skill, I took that soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazump. I looked, then something jumped out of the stump of the tree I'd chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs, what is that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I'm being quite useful. I'm doing no harm. I chopped just one tree. The thing is a thneed. A thneed is a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for pillows, for carpets, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, "Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool Thneed." But just at that minute I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along, and he thought that the Thneed I had knitted was great, and he happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. "You poor stupid guy, you never can tell what some people will buy." "I repeat," cried the Lorax, "I speak for the trees." "I'm busy," I told him. "Shut up, if you please." We'll see what happens in round 2 of part 2 of the Lorax.